This is the Tobago House of Assembly's Post-Executive Council Media Briefing for week ending November 10th, 2012. The media is this week addressed by Secretaries Tracy Davidson-Celestine and Mr. Godwin Adams. Mr. Adams begins with updates from his division, beginning with the housing construction and land development projects.
Our commencement of the project at Adventure. Adventure, as you would have known, is a two-phase project. The first phase was strictly single dwelling units. The second phase is comprised of townhouses, duplexes, and apartment structures. Within the second phase, we have sub-phases to which we are going to be dealing with. And the first of the sub-phases will be the construction of townhouses. We are expected to construct some 78 townhouses in the first, at this stage. And these 78 townhouses would be packaged in some form. We have package 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. At present, package 1, 3, and 5 will be starting up. We would have done clearance of the vegetation in the vicinity, and mobilization has started, and actual construction out at Adventure will commence in the coming week. In package 1, 3, and 5, we will realize some 40 units from that exercise. And very soon, at the end of the month, or the start of December, we will have package 4 coming into play. I want to make this expressly clear that HDC is our project managers. The project is funded by the Tobago House of Assembly. Contrary to what I've been hearing recently, coming out of HDC, stated again that the project that is being implemented at Adventure is going to be project managed by HDC with funding from the Tobago House of Assembly. We move to the east, where Bell Garden, phase 2, is going to come on stream. As we speak again, mobilization of the contractor, which is Kalanji Transport and Construction Limited. That is the contractor that was selected by project managers E.H.A.louse to implement that project. That project will have a duration of 10 months, and that second phase is also going to be packaged to have our local contractors from Tobago implementing these projects. I must also say that at Adventure, the 3 contractors that are going to be engaged there are also Tobago-born, bred contractors. The 3 contractors are namely, that's Adventure, Parks International Company Limited, Carl Rodney Construction Firm, and AM Transport and Construction Limited, all Tobago contractors. And it's expected that that project will have a duration of 7 to 8 months. At Colon is also a huge project that consists of phases. We have phase 1 and we have phase 2. Phase 1, we will have strictly development. We are going to develop plots or lots for distribution. It is expected that we should yield some 120 lots there in phase 1. This phase 1 will also be packaged. We have 6 packages also at that first phase of Colon. And to start up at Colon, we'll have phase 2, 5, and 6 put in place. And these packages should supposed to be starting within the next 2 to 3 weeks. The phase 2 of that project will consist of townhouses, duplexes, and apartment structures. Those 3 projects that I've mentioned are going to be put in train so that we can continue to provide affordable housing for the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, but in specific, the citizens of Tobago. Our home improvement program continues. I am pleased to say that last year, we would have expended approximately $5 million in supporting residents of Tobago to improve their homes. This program has specific areas. Let me just give you an idea, just to reemphasize that the program is the same program that we ran last year, and we will be expending, or we have budgeted for this fiscal year expenditure $5 million. The areas to which we're going to expend these funds on, it's going to be in the area of home improvement. This is a grant that is given to individuals or people who would have applied to the sum of $15,000. This grant is, you don't have to refund anything here. And we expect that the individuals who are going to be applying for this funding, that they will meet the required stipulated rules, regulations, as the case may be. Let me just indicate that the requirements are that the household income should not exceed $8,000, and the works that are to be done should be in the form of the changing of or repairs to roof, floors, windows, doors, etc. We also have another area that we do fund or assist in, which we call the home improvement subsidy. The subsidy is where you match, as we may say, dollar for dollar, to the tune of $20,000. So if we have a project that will cost, estimated cost of $40,000, you would have to fund 20, and the division would assist with 20. And likewise, if it's 10, if it's 20 and you put 10, and we will assist with 10. It is expected that we are brought into the loop from inception. It's not that you start to do the job and then you ask for the assistant and then we try to pick up. You see, we try to make things as transparent as possible. So in light of that, we expect that if you want to have some upgrade to your structure, we expect you making your application, filling out your application form, meeting the requirements, and we proceed on the journey with you. We have another area that we call the home completion grant. The home completion grant is really geared towards ensuring that people are afforded a chance to get into the building, that the structure they would have expended a lot of funds on, and they get to the point where they cannot put in the windows, the doors, and any other area of construction that will assist in ensuring that people go into their house. That grant, it's a grant also. It's a grant of $20,000, and it's a grant of $20,000, and we fund that all the way. This year will not we will try to beef up things this fiscal year. We'll try to beef up things and to continue with our caravans throughout the length and breadth of Tobago, so that the people who cannot come to Scarborough to really get the information, the necessary information, we will be out there and where they can access us in that respect. Last year, I must say at this time, I want to congratulate the members of staff for really going to the limit in ensuring that people, worthy individuals, access the program. We want to ensure that the maintenance of houses, the housing stock on the island is taken care of. Because, you know, if we leave those houses to break down, we will have to, these people will come to us for housing opportunities. So if we can be upfront supporting the householders, I think that we will be, that is a very good feat as it relates to keeping your housing stock intact. Last fiscal year, we would have supported or assisted over 400 persons in the area of housing with the housing improvement program, and we expect to go forward this fiscal year in the same light.
Bringing updates from her division, Mrs. Davidson-Celestine begins with the development of the Tobago film industry.
The Division of Community Development and Culture and also the Trinidad and Tobago Film Festival would have entered into a collaborative arrangement where they will help the division and the Tobago House of Assembly to develop film in Tobago. And from that relationship, so far, we have seen several workshops on the island being conducted on the island, as well as film screening sessions throughout Tobago, namely in respective villages such as Lambeau, Cadler Hall, Lecato, Lansfome, and Mason Hall, to name a few, where we would have seen over 100 persons participating in those different workshops. And of course, we have targeted the heritage group specifically because we feel that there is a product there that they can capitalize on. And so we have seen that taking place throughout the island, and that was a result of the Phase 1 initiative between the division and also the Trinidad and Tobago Film Festival. However, it does not end there. We move on to Phase 2, which starts in the month of November. And again, we will be targeting those different districts as outlined earlier for the continuation of the development of that film industry initiative. And we have decided to initiate that other level of training, which is of course the Phase 2, which deals with the more practical element of filmmaking. And of course, we are targeting those persons who have been actually involved in the first phase of the film exercise. And so again, this continues in the month of November and goes right until mid-December 2012. While all of that is happening, we are also working on the strategic plan for the development of the film industry, as well as the strategic plan for the fashion industry. Those are two initiatives that we feel can help us with diversification and in sync with the whole ethos of monetization of our culture, so to speak. And so we have well-reputed individuals such as Dr. Bruce Paddington, who is guiding the process, and we feel comfortable that Tobago will reap quite a lot of benefits from the development of both the fashion and also the film industry initiative. Second aspect today will deal with the Department of Community Development, and to put on the table that for this quarter of the fiscal period, the Department of Community Development will continue its focus on the vocational skills training program. And of course, we have been having quite a number of different training and workshop sessions throughout the communities and utilizing, of course, our community centers. And we are also working with NTA, that is the National Training Agency, to ensure that the product, the final product, is well accredited, that our tutors are also well accredited, and that the certification that is given to the participants of those projects would have some credibility, would have some reputation, so to speak. And so we have held a 4-day workshop with the NTA to ensure that our tutors are qualified, and also the participants coming out of that program are also well accredited, so to speak. And of course, we are looking at implementing or achieving a part of our strategic plan, which is basically to develop the vocational skills training program and also to move towards the NTA certification, so to speak. And of course, once as that accreditation is achieved from the NTA, the department will of course initiate other discussions, because we want to be able to take the training to different levels. I also want to mention that the Department of Community Development would have so far held 4 successful Tobago Night Market initiative. 3 were held at the Pembroke Heritage Park, and 1 was held at the Cats and Jammers Pan Theatre. The other 2 are scheduled to be held again at the Cats and Jammers Pan Theatre on the 29th of November, and on the 15th of December we will be holding one at the Sid Gray Sport Complex at Roxborough. And these night market initiatives gives not only our farmers but also our entrepreneurs or small businesses and artisans an opportunity to showcase their talents, to showcase their skills, and also to attract some revenues in doing so. And of course, you know, it enhances the cultural and agro-tourism product by participating, by the communities participating, and some source of opportunity for income generation. And I must say that those programs have been well received by the respective communities, and we are now looking towards expansion of the night market initiatives in other communities throughout Tobago. Also, we have our Pride of Tobago project, where the objective is to revive the spirit of self-dependency and cooperation that Tobagonians are known for, as well as to sensitize the public on the importance of protecting and of course preserving our natural heritage, and even, you know, fitting into the mantra of clean, green, safe and serene. And for some time now, the division would have launched the 2012 edition of the Pride of Tobago project, and we are at the point now where application forms are being received, and where the deadline for entries is the 3rd of December 2012. And so that project is a competition that will be held throughout various communities, various villages throughout Tobago, with of course the emphasis being to engender the spirit of self-dependency and also cooperation, and to ensure that the whole community spirit is revived. We also have our Y Zone initiative, Y being youth initiative, where we have several porter cabins throughout the island, I think 7 or so, where the intention is to provide a space for the young people, a space for the youth, and the intention is to launch the Cuddle Hall project on November 29th. And of course, these are spaces that provide internet, ICT training, and also internet access to our young people, a place where they can socialize, and more so a place where they can recreate, and where we will be having tutor programs in Spanish and in other areas such as software development, so to speak. And the first of this initiative will be launched on the 29th of November at the Cudler Hall Center. Apart from that, I want to mention that the Department of Culture continues its Yuletide community concerts and also a toys and hamper distribution project, a project that is a part of the Season of Joy program. And we will be visiting several communities throughout Tobago, from Plymouth, Lescato, Golden Lane, which is on the 10th, John Dial on the 11th, Speyside 21st of November, Mount Grace and Environs on the 30th, Goodwood on the 1st of December, Montgomery on the 8th, and also Castara on the 9th of December. And of course, those concerts are in keeping with the whole spirit and tradition of celebrating Christmas, and we feel that as a part of preserving and protecting our heritage, that those concerts be continued. And of course, we revised it because it was previously done on a yearly basis, but we have now decided that they will be held on every 2 years. And so last year around this time, we did not have any. So this year, it means that we will be having those community concerts throughout Tobago. I also want to mention that the preparation for Carnival is well on its way. We have the establishment of the Carnival Committee, and more so the Department of Culture has been in the preparing mode for some time now, trying to ensure that the whole spirit of traditional mass is well alive in the communities, and that community training is taking place. And we are partnering with the University of Trinidad and Tobago, as well as with the University of the West Indies and the Trinidad and Tobago Carnival Institute to provide a forum to encourage the preservation of traditional mass. Of course, you know, I think it was last year and the year before, we had a very concerted effort to revive traditional mass, and we would have seen about 22 to 30 new traditional mass bands coming on the street. And so we are continuing that, and we're trying to ensure that we focus on the history of the characters, the characteristics of the characters, the movement of the characters, costuming, and of course the creation of costumes by the community in an effort to teach the basics of costume making of the chosen carnival characters. And so from the month of December right through to February, you will be witnessing the traditional mass community training program, as well as the Carnival Educative Arts Festival and Conference program, which also takes place in the month of January, and which objective is to ensure we have not only edutainment, but awareness, cultural tourism, and community enhancement, so to speak. I also want to mention our partnership arrangement with the Community Information Technology Institute located at Signal Hill, where we are trying to ensure we have predictable internet access for most, if not all, communities throughout Tobago. Our vision from the Division of Community Development and Culture is to ensure that all Tobagonians are computer literate. And so we would have partnered with the Information Technology Center, which is under the ambit of the Division of Finance and Enterprise Planning, to ensure that we utilize not only the porter cabins, but also those community centers as well. And so to date, we have quite a number of centers that are operational. We have the Buku Community Center, the Blackrock Community Center, Argyle, Glamorgan, Belgarden, John Dial. And there are a few other centers to be opened in this month, When I say opened, I'm talking about the computer program. We have the Cudler Hall program through the Y-Zone initiative. We also have Palatavir, and we also have Lansamy. Those will come on in this month as the end of the first phase of the exercise. And in the second phase of the exercise, we will be focusing on Charlottesville, Speyside, Dulaford, Goodwood, Mount St. George, Bethesda, Mason Hall, and also Bethel. And as I said, we have the symbolic launch of that on November 29th, and it's in an effort to ensure we have computer access to all communities throughout Tobago.
Thank you for viewing the Tobago House of Assembly's Post-Executive Council Media Briefing for week ending October 10, 2012. For the Department of Information, I am Sophie Guillaume.